Gentlemen, should you follow recipes? In my opinion, when you're starting off, no, absolutely not. Why? Let me tell you an anecdote, and then let me tell you about a specific YouTuber who you may or may not know. So the anecdote is, I wonder if I can find the book for it. I have the cover for it that tore off. I got this book like 10-ish years ago. The MasterChef Junior Cookbook. I was like fucking 9 years young. And I saw a recipe in that looked amazing. It was like a broiled salmon, piece of salmon, with fucking wrapped in a leaf, like a Swiss chard leaf, like a rainbow chard leaf, one of those. And then it also had like a fucking, some avocado puree on the bottom. That recipe appealed to me so much, I would read it pretty much every day in school. I would take my little book, like 4th grade, and then I would look at that and be like, oh wow, what a great recipe. I'm gonna make this, I'm totally gonna make this. The ingredients were a little bit precarious. So the salmon you can find well enough, and also this is back before cooking was so mainstream. It was obviously still mainstream, but short form content didn't even exist back then. I guess it was Vine. I guess Vine existed back then, it was like 2016. But like TikToks weren't around, YouTube wasn't around, like YouTube Shorts wasn't around, fucking Instagram Reels weren't a thing. And so the popularization of cooking was nowhere near that like prevalent. And so as a side effect of that, the supermarkets didn't have many really good like niche ingredients. So the salmon, there was no issues finding. The rainbow chard leaf, I think we either found or we found like a substitute. We found some form of chard. Obviously avocados, no problem since we're in California. And then the other ingredients, there was a little bit of difficulty. Specifically, the fish stock. There was supposed to be fish stock in this sauce. So you were supposed to cook the salmon, take it out, and then I'm pretty sure make a pan sauce or some like reduction with fish sauce, fish stock. They had fish sauce because it was like more popular thing, but they did not have fish stock. And so, I kid you not, I think for Loki either weeks or months, I didn't even make this recipe just because I didn't have the fish stock, and I was like, I wonder if I can, I really do wonder if I have the book with me. I don't think so, unless it's under. Yeah, there it is. There we go. This is gonna make the video so much better. I wonder if I can find it for you now. So, from the oh yeah, there it is. Fish section, here we are. This very page. Broiled salmon with coconut sauce and avocado puree. Yeah. So this coconut sauce, 1 can coconut milk, 2 tablespoons lime juice, 1 shallot. Shallots were also super niche. Well, you can find shallots, but not too easily. 2 tablespoons sugar, 2 garlic cloves, 1 tablespoon soy sauce. Okay, yeah, that was fine. But for the salmon, 1/4 cup of soy, 1/4 cup of fish stock. This was the fucking kicker. So I went with my mom to purchase, because I was like 9 years old, to purchase every single one of these other ingredients. And I was like, oh yay, here we are. After a long, hard toil, I found all the other ingredients. But then when it came to the fish stock, it was nowhere to be found. So for deadass, again, weeks or months, I put off making this dish because I was like, oh no, I have to follow the exact recipe. Because also in America, there's a lot less of this problem, but if you're like European, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot more rigidity and like strictness. Like if you say you're gonna be, if you tell someone you're gonna meet them and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be here at 8, then you're gonna be there at 8, like 8:00. Here in Los Angeles, if you say, let's meet at 8, then that means you're gonna text the person, I'm about to leave now at 8:15, which means you actually leave at like 8:30, which means you get there at like fucking 8:45 or 9 if the traffic's bad. So there's a little bit of a difference in how the two like continents respond to fucking like rigidity and like how much wiggle room they have in the rules. Same thing with like schools. Like I don't know, if you were in like middle school, like the equivalent of 6th grade in Hungary, and like and what's it called, like the teacher caught you doing something you weren't supposed to do, you're getting fucking slapped on the well, probably not anymore, but you're getting yelled at, you're getting it's getting taken seriously. In here, in Los Angeles, in my high school in 12th grade, there was this fucking kid who was a complete little, like, he was like the human equivalent of a rabid squirrel. And so, this fucking kid would vape in the class, and he sat directly in front, like, pretend where the camera is, that's where the teacher's desk is, and I'm where this little fucking kid is. I would hit my vape. Obviously, I don't vape, but, like, this kid would hit his vape in front of the teacher. Are we fucking and he never got reprimanded for it. Obviously the teacher knew, but because it was just like such an audacious thing that he never encountered this before, maybe. That a student fucking vapes 2 micrometers in front of his face. And so he didn't even say anything. In Hungary, you bet your ass, well, maybe not for vaping because people smoke there all the time, but anyways, so coming from this Eastern European descent, I thought that you had to follow the recipe bit by bit, and if you didn't follow the recipe bit by bit, like step by step, every single step of the way, then you may as well not follow it at all, then you may as well not cook, and you may as well give up and kill yourself. In a video game, I don't know if that's like TOS anymore on YouTube, but I finally kind of give up on the search for fish stock because I pieced together, even at the age of like 9, that, yeah, it doesn't well and truly matter whether or not it's fish stock or chicken stock or whatever the fuck, because it's one ingredient out of the 20, and also it's like so this is when it helps when you understand cooking and when you understand like what the purpose of things is. So it's like another bell curve. It's like at the very beginning, don't follow a recipe because you just need to start, you just need to make it. At the middle, yes, do follow the recipe to like find out the theory and why you do what you do. And then at the end of the bell curve, don't follow a recipe because you can intuit things and you can substitute things. So, I'm not saying that at 9 years old I was at the end of the bell curve of cooking, by the way, just for an example. So, but even back then, I knew that what is a stock? It's like a salty liquid. Get all your laughs out right now. It's like a salty liquid that's supposed to act as like a base for whatever sauce I'm making. It doesn't thicken anything. It doesn't it's not like a very, very special flavor. It's not like a textural element that chicken stock can't make. Like there's basically no difference in chicken stock and fish stock in properties except for flavor. And the flavor I can fucking deal with because there's already actual fish in the recipe, so it doesn't really matter. So I decided, yeah, let's use fish stock. Let's use chicken stock, because after so much searching, I could not be fucked. I could not find fish stock anywhere. I'm pretty sure my mom also went out to this, like, just separately then to the supermarket or like to some different stores, and she's like, yep, I also couldn't find this fish stock. Like, what in tarnation is this? And so I just made the recipe like usual, and lo and behold, it worked out well. And you'll find the same thing is true for yourself, no matter what recipe you're putting off. You may think, I don't have this ingredient, and you may think, I don't have this piece of equipment. For example, like a pasta machine, so not following a recipe because you don't have a specific ingredient. In baking, it's kind of different. If you don't have fucking baking soda and you like expect to make a ramen noodle, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. But for example, if you're cooking something and you have some very, very close substitute, you're fucking Mew better, bro. But so like this fish stock and chicken stock, they're very, very close substitutes of each other. It's completely fine. It's completely fine to not follow the recipe and to stray from the recipe. If on the flip side of things, you just straight up wouldn't even make the dish. I'm gonna introduce to you now the example of this YouTuber, and then I'm gonna tell you like a couple of dishes that like you may think the recipe is super important or the equipment is super important, but no, and how you can actually do them with substitution. So there's this YouTuber, he's Vietnamese, he's very, very cool. His name is Quang Tran. Quang Tran is known for his fried chicken mostly, and within that, So for the fried chicken, you have the chicken pieces that you're gonna marinate or not. Then you're gonna create the batter, or like dredge, flour, egg, whatever the fuck. And he usually makes a seasoning flour. And so within the seasoning flour, there's this very funny joke because he doesn't use measuring spoons like all the gay YouTubers, like all the little cringe lords who like do. I'm gonna use 1/4 of 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum, and according to molecular biology, according to biochemistry, this should leaven the dough and end up, or like this should coagulate the dish or whatever the fuck. Quang Tran would rather take like the open bag of whatever spice bag, and he would be like, okay guys, 2 tablespoons, okay, 1 tablespoon of this, and in not one of his videos are his measurements accurate, but his food always ends up looking immaculate and delicious and just like very, very good. And I urge you to take a look at this guy. Again, his name is Quang Tran. He is like the #1 fucking nasally, bro. You would expect I'm more nasally in Los Angeles than I was in fucking Cleveland at -2 degrees. Anyways, this guy, you would expect it to look bad. You would expect everything to look shit because he doesn't weigh anything out. He does everything by feel, basically, because he's Vietnamese. His mother before him, his grandmother definitely didn't do this fucking dumbass like gram accurate measurements. When you're doing more new age like scientific recipes or whatever the fuck, then sure, maybe it makes a difference. But again, when you're doing like traditional foods, recipes that have been around for hundreds of years, like when you're cooking a meat, when you're making a different pasta, when you're making a fucking soup, whatever, like people have been making that with endless substitutions, bro. Like, do you imagine during the siege of Prague in fucking 1648, the citizens of Prague are gonna make their meal, and then one retard in the line goes like, actually, guys, I think you got the recipe off by 1 tablespoon for the stew. They would just slime him, because Königsmarck is right there out the door. And he's gonna go forth like no other man. So in the meanwhile, shut the fuck up, let's go eat this food. I don't know if you got that reference or not, but... So essentially, especially in these recipes that have been passed out for hundreds of years and that are very old, I guarantee you they're meant to be done with substitutions. Do you think the old Roman fucking grandmother who's making a carbonara is gonna run out of eggs one day? Like, she's gonna have 2 eggs instead of 4, and she's gonna be like, oh, fucking, I can't make this now. No. She's gonna work with what she has, even probably add something retarded, like even add like some water probably. Like in the movie Cinderella Man, when they just like filled up their milk with water. That shit genuinely works. Like, if you don't have enough milk for a recipe, just 50-50 milk and water, fuck it, like throw it in. Man. It's not that difficult to just substitute things. Fuck me. What's going on with my throat? Good lord. Never thought I would be the one saying that, but... Okay. What are a few things that you can make that are like... that you think you would need the specific ingredients for and shit, but you don't have them? If you make something like a biltong or anything that needs a dehydrator, fuck me, bro. It's actually horrendous. Such a good viewing experience for you, by the way. Be sure to buy all my stuff if you like me sneezing and coughing all over the camera. So, there is biltong or any sort of jerky, anything that needs to be dried or like dehydrated. You can deadass just put your oven at the lowest setting, which should be like 175, and most ovens are not very accurate, especially when you're that like low down in temperature. And so if you just do that, you leave that bitch in there for like the prerequisite time, like many hours. At 175, you can do that instead of a dehydrator. If you're making any pasta, I don't care, any pasta, and you don't have a pasta machine, you can still make it. You can absolutely still roll it out thin enough. You just may not have the skill for it, and it may look a little bit shitty. It's completely fine. It's going to taste good, and even if it doesn't, then the next one you make is going to taste good because you're going to learn from your mistakes in that one. If you don't have, like, gelatin, then use cornstarch. If you don't have cornstarch, use xanthan gum. If you don't have this fucking xanthan gum, just like omit it. Like literally, even these ingredients, which are very, very important for the texture, you can just deadass leave out. Nice little Devin Larratt pose. You can deadass just leave out without making that big of a difference to the dish. When in doubt, if it's the choice between cooking something or not cooking something, then cook it, even if you don't have the ingredients and either the supermarket's closed right now or you can't be fucked to go to the store. Just make them. Just make the recipe. And you'll get over the first kind of moat, right? Because if there's moats, like in a castle is guarded by moats is an analogy I learned from Hamza Ahmed. You jump over moats to get to the castle, and there are many moats around the castle. The castle is whichever goal that you want. The moats around it are the, well, challenges or like roadblocks or like fuck ups along the way. So let's say the castle is making the, nice hand positioning. Let's say the castle is the recipe and making the food is the dish, not the recipe. The outermost moat is just deciding to make it. Now within that, you also have to be like, okay, this is the technique needed, cool, this is the other technique needed, sure. But if you don't jump over that first moat of deciding to make the recipe, then you're never gonna get to the castle. So if you're in doubt, just make it. I give you permission here, through all the authority vested in me about cooking, that just make it, just make the recipe, and don't be afraid of like it coming out shittily or anything. If anything, just like kind of laugh and understand if it really does fuck up that massively, which it probably won't, but if it does, then just understand, okay, this is what I could be doing differently. Next time, this is what I'm gonna do. That's how you learn from your mistakes. But for the first time that you're making a recipe, or when you're making a dish, just don't follow the recipe. It doesn't fucking matter. If you can do it, sure, but if it's the decision between you not making the dish or making the dish and not following the recipe, just make the dish and don't follow the recipe entirely. It doesn't matter if you deviate from it that much. And then for your second time, you can go really autistically. You can be like, okay, I made this without the recipe. This is what went wrong specifically. This is what I need to do. And on your second time around, you can like fix it up, do it, be cool. We've now gone past 1648 and went to 1738, another meme number.